need them? Yes, we do. We need strategies. Strategies for living, that is. So are you ready? You ready for your daily dose of Radio Rehab?
I suppose I am.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'm ready. Ready or not, here I am.
Some days I guess we're readier than other days, aren't we?
Yeah, some days the struggle is more than others, right?
Well, yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today, the struggle. Hey, folks, welcome into 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan. And she is PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan. And we're just delighted that you are with us here on Strategies for Living. Yeah, I mean, here's the deal. Life is difficult. I mean, some people even say that life is a struggle. Was it Winston Churchill that said, I think I'm quoting him correctly, life is one damn thing after another.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, and I think the old boy was pretty close to correct. A book that just I absolutely, it's one of my very favorite books.
Sure.
The Road Less Traveled.
The Road, yes.
M. Scott Peck. First sentence of that book grabbed me. Life is difficult. 3 words. Life is difficult. Next sentence. That's a great truth. And he goes on to say, most of us think that life is difficult for us and not for everybody else. Right. I'm paraphrasing now. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, life is difficult for all of us. And the question he poses is, what do we want to do about it?
Right.
Do we want to whine and complain?
And thankfully, it's not difficult for everybody all at the same time, although,
True.
Sometimes it is.
And that's really what I kind of want to focus
but
in on
that's the beauty,
today.
Right?
Yeah.
That we can help each other in the midst of each other's struggles.
Exactly. So the question becomes, when we see our brothers and sisters struggling.
Yes.
How can we...
Ride in the struggle bus, right?
There you go. How can we support them? How can we, when you see somebody that's really struggling, I mean, really, really struggling, maybe there's been... For
any variety of life's
could be a number
reasons.
Could be a number of things that you are grieving over, that you're guilty over, losses. Use your imagination.
Humanity.
Life itself. How do we help someone through life's struggles? That's what we're going to focus on today here on Strategies for Living. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us here on Strategies. We are presented by the Robinson Film Center, by Azalea Cleaners, by Learning RX, by Pintail Roofing, and by the Balanced Life Wellness Center. How do we support somebody when they're really struggling? We're going to talk about that today here on Strategies for a Living. Come back and join us. Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donnie Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, Maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending. Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child. So does Learning RX Shreveport.
Hey, welcome in. Welcome into Strategies for Living here on 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Helping us live healthier, happier, more peaceful lives in our bodies, in our minds, in our spirits, in our relationships. That's what Strategies for Living is all about. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We're talking today about
the struggles,
yeah. I mean, we know it, and we've been through it, and we've been with people that we care about who are going through it. What are ways that we can support someone when they're really, really struggling? You know, one of the things that maybe we shouldn't begin with a don't, but I am.
Uh-oh. All right.
Okay.
What do we don't?
Well, and my reasoning for this is that, you know, we want to fix things. You know, that it's just our nature.
It's a natural inclination for so many of us.
When
to rescue.
Yeah, when we encounter,
because we don't want to see our friends and our family hurting or not feeling happy or joyful.
When we encounter somebody that we love or that we care about and they're struggling, or they're grieving, or they're guilting, or they're doing anything else that constitutes a struggle, you know, a significant part of me, I'm just going to talk about me, wants to get in and fix it, wants to come to the rescue, right?
Sure.
That hasn't worked out real well.
No, because that's one of the most dangerous, I might even say, things that we could do for one another. Because I know this might sound strange, but life hands us struggle and grievances. And if we see them for what they are, which are gifts, when you take that from another person, you're taking from them very valuable growth, very valuable lessons in life.
I think that's extremely insightful.
Well, plus, it's just in my own experience.
Well, plus it can trap you. I mean, if we've all heard of the victim's triangle, right? Or, you know, the drama triangle. Well, maybe we haven't all heard. Many people have heard of it. I wish we would all hear of it. You know, because definitely. The drama triangle says, and it was developed by a gentleman by the name of Karpman. It's also known as Karpman's triangle, the victim's triangle, or the drama triangle. And it's just a triangle, and on the three sides, one of the sides is persecutor. If there's a persecutor, then there's also a victim, and then the rest of the triangle is the rescuer. Right. And here's the deal. And one of the things that Karpman identified, and I've certainly in my life, it's proven to be 100% accurate. It's like there's little invisible arrows, that go between rescuer, victim, persecutor, right? Right. So
once you're on the wheel, it's you're on it.
You see a hapless victim, you run into the rescue, then it doesn't take long, and this is I can honestly say 100%. This is 100%. Anytime I've rescued someone, they've turned around and the roles have switched, and I've found myself being persecuted, feeling like a victim, and needing a rescuer.
Right.
Yeah. And the only way to get off of that is to recognize that it's there and step away from it. And so that's That's why I say don't try to fix it. Don't give unsolicited advice. Don't tell somebody what to do.
Well, or because when you're telling them what to do, you're telling them what you would do most
Right,
likely,
right. And so,
or your opinion through your own references and experiences.
right. And so it can be very invalidating to somebody else because you might do what you're suggesting, but you're not them.
Right. You have no idea what is needed in the moment for their best growth or interest.
Right.
You know what would work for you
Yeah.
through your lens, but you have no idea what would help from them.
Now, if they want, this is unsolicited advice. If
Okay.
they want advice,
Right. Okay.
then certainly, talk about that, offer the advice, but do so with respect, and do respect for them and for yourself.
Right.
Right?
And a good way to do that is by starting with the phrase, well, if I were in this situation, right?
Right.
To put into clear perspective that, look, I don't know what is best for you. However, if I was in this situation, or at a time in my life when I was in a similar situation, this is what I did and what
Right.
worked out for me.
Right.
Now, again, it's important to know and remember from both ends, the giver and the receiver of advice, that, that is not necessarily always, there's never a right or a wrong way to go, right?
Yeah, and this is one thing. If you're in the helping professions,
Whew.
you really need to understand this concept that we're talking about, the drama triangle, the victim's triangle, because how many times through the years did a client come in and ask, tell me what to do?
Right.
Please tell me what to do. And
do I
how many?
do?
Yeah,
What
what do
should
I
I
do?
do?
What should I do?
Yes.
And
Some variation.
sometimes it's very frustrating to clients
Yeah.
to hear, well, I can't give you advice.
Nope.
That's not what therapy or coaching or counseling or whatever is.
Any healthy helper.
Any healthy helper. Yeah. It's, the healthy helping scenario is, let's sit down, let's hold space. Let me hear what you're going through. Let me reflect back to you what I hear you saying, and so that you can, in a safe environment, you can see and hear.
You are your own best.
And then out of that, many times, if not most times, emerges, oh, okay, I see what I need to do here.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've all got it. We've all got the most powerful, most ingenious, wise inner compass within us.
Absolutely.
We do. And it's just
Absolutely.
about being able to still ourselves enough and have space held for us so that we can see and hear that for ourselves.
And I guess I'm hearing right now people say, David, Lauren, wait a minute. I'm coming from a good place here. I want to help people. I know that.
Right.
Obviously, most often, this comes from a very, very well-meaning place.
Right.
But we can't fix somebody else.
No. And the other side of
So don't.
don't do it. The other reason for not fixing or not jumping in to fix is because so many times when people are in struggle, they don't really want or need a fix. What they want or need most is, like we just mentioned, space to be held and to be validated.
They want to be heard.
And
They
and
want to be
understood.
validated and understood. Heard, understood,
Seen.
validated, seen.
Yeah.
Maybe in that order. Because again, the answers are, you just touched on this, the answers are always within us,
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
We always already have the answers. Now, we may need a little help moving. Sometimes they're stuck
Digging.
way down there.
Yeah.
And we need some help bringing them out.
Excavating, as I like to call it.
That's a wonderful time to consider going to therapy,
Right.
to going to counseling, going to coaching. getting in a healthy relationship with a self-help professional who, again, but if a professional that you go to see begins to tell you, you need to do this, you need to do that, and you need to do this.
And this is the way.
And this is the way.
Ooh, run away.
My strong suggestion
Get out.
to you is to run quickly. Quickly. Get away from that.
As fast as your little legs can take you.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I hear people say, I'm hearing voices this evening. Yeah.
Do you need
So
some therapy?
I may, that may well be.
I need to take you in the office later.
I've been told it before.
Yeah. The voices told you that?
Yeah, well, let's not go there.
Okay.
But I'm hearing people interact with us through their radios.
Yes.
And say, okay, well, if I can't fix it, what can I do?
Okay,
well,
right.
You can ask, how can I support you right now?
Ooh.
How can I best support you right now? Now, that's not fixing.
No.
Supporting is something very different from fixing.
Yes.
So
what do you need?
The question is, how can I support you right now? Now, they may not know.
No, right.
They may not have any idea.
So many people do not know.
And that's okay.
Yep.
That's completely okay. But in asking, how can I support you right now? That question
Yep. sparks the quest.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Within both parties.
Absolutely. So what is most important there? It is to let them know that you're here, you're available, and you're listening.
Yes.
And that you're going to continue to listen. Let them know your availability. That probably, when someone is struggling, when you see someone really, really struggling, that's probably more important than anything else you can do.
Yeah.
How can I support you right now? Asking that question, and then having the discipline within yourself
to know where your boundaries are.
Right. And to wait.
Yeah.
Just to wait and let that flow between you. Because again,
that is the most powerful support we can ever give to one of us.
Absolutely. It is extremely powerful. We're discussing today, people struggle. We all struggle. That's part of what life is. How do we support someone? How do you support someone that is in your life that is really struggling right now? We're talking about that today here on Strategies for Living, because this is part of what we do, right?
Absolutely.
Right, and we'll be back to do more, but we got to pay some bills first. So stay with us. More Strategies for Living to come. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us. And welcome back. Welcome back into Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Strategies for Living. We are all about health and wellness, healthy living, and making healthy choices. That's what we're about here on Strategies for Living. Psychotherapist, PLPC Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We are talking about today on Strategies How do we support somebody when they're really, really, really struggling?
Or just struggling.
Yeah.
Any spectrum, any level on the spectrum of suffering.
Yeah.
Or struggle.
Well, when we see somebody that we really care about,
Yeah.
We don't like to see the struggle, do we?
No. And yet it is the most, if we think back over our own life experiences, at least for me, okay, and I think I can speak for at least a few other people out there.
I think you are.
Okay, that it is out of the struggle that we have our most intense growth, and we come out the other side a much more capable and incredible and wise person. And it is because of the struggle.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about so far, don't try to fix it. Don't give unsolicited advice. Don't tell them what you would do. That can feel invalidating, even when it comes from a well-meaning place. Instead, ask, how can I support you right now? Now, they may not know, and that's okay, but let them know that you're available. You're available to listen. You're there.
I'm here for you.
That can be an invaluable asset for anyone who's struggling. Now, perspectives. We all have one.
Yeah. Yes, we do. That's another gift we bring to the world.
Yeah, everybody's got one. And, you don't, when somebody's struggling, what you don't want to do is try to give them a new perspective. That's not the time.
Yep.
What are the things that we say when, it was meant to be, it was meant to happen. Sweetie, you're better off.
Yeah.
That's not, that I don't want to hear that.
Not yet. Not when you're in the midst of the crumbling.
Here's another good one that you hear a lot. God never gives us any more than you can handle.
And even if...
Or we don't get more than we can handle in life.
Right.
Oh, really?
And perhaps even what I said a few minutes ago might be a platitude we don't want to give them in the midst of struggle, which is that, you'll come out better on the other side, or that there's a lesson here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Those
things may be true.
They may be true.
Yeah, it may be true that it was meant to happen. It may be true that they will be better off. It may be true.
But that doesn't take away from the very valid experience and feelings that you get in the midst of the struggle. Right?
Right.
Which are often they just need to be held.
Yeah, because part of an extremely significant part of life is, believe it or not, grieving.
Yes.
Grieving and life go together because life, I mentioned The Road Less Traveled earlier. One of the things that he talks about in The Road Less Traveled, Scott Peck is the author. If you haven't read that book, man, I think everybody ought to read. It's old. It's an old book now. Centenary Book Sale is coming up.
I'm sure they've got a few.
I always, if you go in September to the Centenary Book Sale, I can almost promise you, that you can find many copies of The Road Less Traveled, and you can probably get them for 25 cents, 50 cents. A lot of times I would... Through the years, I would go to the Centenary Book Sale just to get stacks to give people through the year of The Road Less Traveled.
Yeah.
Because they would be a quarter, or they would be 50 cents, or they would be 75 cents, depending on the condition of the book.
Yeah.
And it always blew me away how many Road Less Travels at the Centenary Book Sale that looked brand new.
Yeah.
That somebody had been gifted or given the book, or they bought the book. And, the book had never been... You can testify to this because I keep it in our office.
Yes.
My original Road Less Traveled.
Yes, it is barely hanging on by the threads.
It's been underlined. It's been... it's one of those books that I probably underlined so much that at some point I said, heck, I'm underlining everything. Well, why am I doing this?
Right.
So then I switched and I started underlining in different colors. I switched out of just yellow underlined and then moved to blue and pink and green. So, okay, well, anyway, I digress.
Right.
one of the points that he makes in The Road Less Traveled is that life from birth to death is a series of things that we have to give up. So it's important to teach ourselves and teach our children the grieving process.
And that it's natural.
And it's natural. It's a normal part of life.
You know, you say my children, it makes me think of, Mama said there were going to be these days, right?
Yeah. That's a great song.
Right.
Mama said there'd be days like this.
There'd be days like this. That's it.
So don't try to give a new perspective. Platitudes like this was meant to happen, or you're better off, or.
And I think this might be an important time to remind ourselves too that no matter, because we're talking about perspective and about feelings,
right?
And no matter the situation, feelings are feelings. They're valid no matter what.
Yeah, they're not right or wrong either. They're just feelings.
Right. I mean, because and adults to children can be so easily sucked into this. Well, you spilled your milk, and so there's no reason for you to cry, and yet to the child that milk was their whole world, right? For the next 5 minutes. They were going to enjoy that cup of milk or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
And so it's important for us to remember that with each other, that we really don't know their perspective and whatever that event meant to that person.
Right.
It's important to say, man, you're going through it, and I just want to be here and walk alongside with you.
I'm here with you.
Your feelings are valid.
Yeah. So you're bringing up perspective again, and so let's go back to that. Don't give them your perspective, but get theirs, hear theirs, and validate it.
Yes.
Validate whatever their perspective is. One of the most important things that we can do for someone who is struggling is ask them questions so that they can hear. Many times when we're in the struggle, right?
Yeah.
The chaos is surrounding our lives, and we just need to hear sometimes in a safe environment. Okay, well, this is what I'm thinking about this. This is what I'm feeling about this. In other words, this is my perspective on what's happening. So give questions that will bring that to the surface so that the person can hear their own perspective, right?
Yeah.
And then validate that.
Yes.
When they share, validate what they're saying. I can't imagine how painful that was, how painful this is that you're moving through.
Yeah.
Tell me what else you're feeling. You say that you feel this and that. What else are you feeling?
Yeah.
And there are no bad feelings, wrong feelings, dumb feelings, inappropriate feelings.
They just are.
Right. But how many times, Lauren, do we hear people say to themselves, and they're talking about their own feelings, that's dumb on my part. I shouldn't be feeling this.
Right. And we think that there's a certain way to feel, and especially I think we apply this especially with grieving. I'm thinking of when you lose someone, especially, there's some sort of expected formulaic response. And it's just not that way at all. Grief
is a very individual thing, and grief is something that we're all going to go through, and it's about getting to a place of moving through all of the angst and the anger and the sadness and the depression to an acceptance of a new reality.
And even in the midst of acceptance, you will likely be hit with those other feelings on occasion, and it might hit you out of the blue. And it's important that you have reached that point of acceptance so that when it does hit, you can move through it with a little more grace.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think the other important part to remember here is that we're multidimensional. And what I mean by that in this case is that I can be both happy and sad at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Two feelings and two perspectives I can hold at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do we
see-
do that at wakes and funerals, right?
yes.
We move almost instantaneously from slobbering because we're sad, and but then somebody tells a story.
Right. And
and we're reminded of...
You're in the midst of the joy again, of the memory.
Yes. And that joy, that memory will continue to live within you.
Yes.
No, the person may not be physically present anymore in your life, but that person touched your life and will remain
a part of yours.
a part of your life until you join them wherever they are now. Yeah. And so, I mean, I think it's an important thing, to again,
to remind yourself the power of both and.
Yes. They're both valid.
Right.
The conjunction junction.
What's your function? To hooking us all up together and reminding us, right, that it's all okay.
We have watched way too many of those
Schoolhouse Rock.
Schoolhouse Rocks. Yeah. I don't know. We're talking about ways today on strategies.
When the struggle is real.
Yeah, and
Because
it is real. Life is struggle. And that's just the way it is.
How are we going to help each other move through the mud?
How do we support?
Mire?
How do you really support somebody when they're really, really struggling? Well, we're talking about it today here on Strategies for a Living. And you know what?
What?
We got a lot more.
Always.
Yeah,
Looking forward to
we
it.
got more of this. Stay with us, folks. Strategies for a Living is all about health and wellness and healthy living. So we'll do more on the other side. We got to stop for these commercials, and we'll be right back here on Strategies for Living. So stay with us. More to come, more to learn, I hope. You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com. And welcome back in. Welcome back into 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome back into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, talking about ways today here on Strategies for Living. Ways to support someone when they're really, really struggling. And, we do it. We struggle. And people that we love and care about struggle. Sometimes, we really want to help. Look, don't try to fix it. Don't give unsolicited advice or tell them what you would do, because that can be invalidating, even when it comes from a well-meaning place. Instead, ask, how can I support you right now? And even if they don't know, let them know you're available to listen, because whatever needs to happen is within them. So don't give a new perspective. It was meant to happen, or you're better off, or, we don't get more in life than we can handle.
Even if that's true.
Stay away from those platitudes.
It's important to hold the space for the feeling that is present in the moment.
But do validate their perspective when they share, something like, I can't imagine the pain that was. What else are you feeling? Because it's important, to be there to let those feelings emerge. If you can feel it, you can heal it, right? All right, check in. That's something that's a big way you can support. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here if you need me. And even if they don't call, check in.
Yeah.
Let them know I'm here. It can be as simple as a text.
Right.
Do you, can I help in any way?
Just thinking of you, saying hello, and wanting to check in.
Yeah, and I mean,
that's it.
That can be, that can be so incredibly healing when someone is struggling.
Because really one of the few things that we can truly give and take, I guess, from each other is our presence.
Well, our presence is a present.
Right.
And it's all we have to give. Be present, right?
It is it.
So letting somebody know that we're present, that you're present. If they need you, that is a precious present in and of itself.
Yes, it is.
So, can't do better than that. So check in. I'm here. I'm here if you need me. Now, more don'ts. We got a lot of don'ts today, don't we?
We got some do's and some don'ts.
We got some do's and some don'ts. But don't compare. Don't push someone to do something or compare them to somebody else, to another person, whether it's yourself or somebody else.
Right. There's no comparison.
No, because we touched on this, but I think this is so important. We need to underscore it. Everybody grieves. Everybody. And everybody grieves differently.
Right.
And everybody processes, but everybody processes differently. So everybody grieves and everybody processes things in different ways. What can be helpful in the grieving process is for you to, if you're close enough, to ask and invite them to share with you what they're feeling and what they're thinking. Because again, a lot of times during a struggle, there's so much chaos within that it's extreme. One of the most important things that you can do is to help someone, to ask questions, to help someone to hear themselves, to gain clarity of, oh, okay, I wasn't aware that I was exactly feeling and thinking this and that.
And what that looks like, I'll kind of give you some insider cheats, from the therapy chair, right? It is to ask, okay, elicit those questions of what are you feeling, what are you thinking, and then you don't have to parrot exactly back, but to summarize. So what I'm hearing you say is blah, blah, blah. Is that how you feel? And they can elaborate, or they can, change so that you can really truly feel heard and understood, so that that's how someone's perspective is able to be held in each moment, is by hearing it back, that reflection of what I'm hearing you say. Okay,
so I'm hearing more things out there, right? I'm hearing people say, Lauren, David, look, I want to do more. And you guys are boxing me in here. I want to do more. Because we're doers. And we are. We are. That's valid.
Yes.
When we see somebody struggling, we want to do. And you're telling me not to rescue. So then what do I do? Well, one of the things you can do is figure out how to make something easier for the person and offer that.
Right.
Can I go to the grocery store for you?
The acts of service.
Yeah. Can I go to the grocery store for you?
That's one of my favorite things that I've heard of recently is the idea of grief groceries.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's one of the last things that we want to do in deep grief, right? Is to go out, be in public, and get food for ourselves, right? And so that's one of the easiest things.
I know you hadn't felt like walking the dog. Can I come over and walk the dog for you?
Right.
The dog needs to be walked. Right. Can I take that off your plate? What can I take off your plate?
Yeah. Because this could be very different. I mean, people have very differing boundaries of what they're willing to give up in terms of their daily routine. But when grief shakes, there are different. You don't know. You don't know until you ask.
Yeah.
And so that's the important piece, asking, what can I do for you to help?
Right. Now, again, everybody does grieve differently. Mm-hmm. So some people go deep within when they're struggling. Don't take that personal.
Please don't.
Don't take that personally. Some people just absolutely shut down and they say things that they wouldn't normally say. Don't take that personally. Some people might not seem as appreciative as you think that they should be when they're struggling. Again, there's chaos in there, and sometimes those feelings that now we don't know what is going on.
Right. Now, this is not to say don't accept abuse in any form.
No,
right?
no.
Have your clear boundaries to take care of, protect yourself. But part of those boundaries need to be not taking the things personally.
Right.
Because what other people say and do is totally, completely about them. It has nothing to do with anyone else but the one doing and saying them.
Yeah. We probably all at some point felt unsupported by people around us,
Yeah. And one of the most important things that I think we could all do, in the midst of this conversation, yes, definitely support each other.
Yep.
And in our supporting each other, learn how to support ourselves too. Like asking those questions: what is it that I need? What does make me feel supported?
Yep.
So that you can help people support you, right?
Yeah, there you go. And so, I think I think it's very, very poignant. We all struggle. Everybody struggles. And how do we help?
Have you seen the world lately?
Yeah. Step back and take a look. What are ways to support someone when you see them and they're really, really struggling? Talking about that today here on Strategies for a Living. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
And welcome back. Welcome back into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Strategies for a Living. David McMillan. Just here helping us live healthier, happier, more peaceful lives. That's what Strategies is all about. And we're talking about ways to support someone when you see them really, really struggling. What's your biggest takeaway from what we've talked about? We've discussed a lot of different things today, Lauren. What's your biggest takeaway from what we've talked about?
My big takeaway is that less is more. Perhaps, the ability to hold space, ask the questions, to be there for someone.
Yeah.
And I will kind of add something we haven't touched on too much, but I think we should at least briefly, is that one of the best ways that we can support each other is by making sure we ourselves are supported and full enough to give to others.
Absolutely.
So that we're giving from a place of overflow.
We cannot give what we do not have.
And that's the beauty of the world. That's why we're not all in the same level of struggle at the same time. And that's why non-comparison's important.
Right.
You know, it's that old song, Lean on Me, right? Sometimes in my life, I'll be down, but sometimes in my life, you'll be down.
Yep.
And so it's about recognizing the balance and appreciating that and seeing each other in each other.
Being there, truly being there for each other.
In the best way that we know how.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And learning that we're all learning and growing along the way. We're going to make mistakes.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Yeah, thank you. And
Thank
folks,
you.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of Strategies for Living. We do this each and every day for you. And we appreciate you being here with us. And we appreciate our sponsors making it all possible. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Learning RX and Pintail Roofing and the Balanced Life Wellness Center. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call that you could make, who would you call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.